back to another WCG interview here with one of the world's coolest esports players. Of course, we have JuicyJ hanging out with us, and he is the Clash Royale champion, of course, at WCG 2019. What's going on, Jackson?
It's going good, man. Just grind never stops.
I hear you there. One thing I wanted to at least say, of course, is that not everybody knows what Clash Royale is. So could you very quickly just kind of give us a rundown of what the game Clash Royale is and what you do and how you play it?
Absolutely. So, best way I can describe Clash Royale for you guys is if you play chess or you know what chess is, it's basically like that. It's like I always describe it as like a chess game that's quicker and faster pace, and there's definitely a lot more going on. And also instead of like however many chess pieces there are, instead of that, there's basically like almost like 90, 80 like basically pieces in the game, except they're called cards. And basically you can make a deck out of these cards. You can pick 8 out of the 80 cards or whatever. And and you have to basically make that deck. You have to make sure it synergizes well. It does all these things. It meets the requirements. And then you basically play against your opponent. It's just on a board. It's like 1v1. And it's all about who's going to be smarter, who's going to strategize better, and who's going to use their resource better in order to basically take towers and win the game.
I've seen the game before. It obviously is very complex. It takes a little bit of time to get into to kind of understand all the mechanics of it. How long have you been playing this game?
Yeah, so I started playing right when it came out. I used to play Clash of Clans, and it's made by the same developer, Supercell. And when it came out, I just, me and my friends, we got a Canadian Apple ID, and we got it right in the soft launch. That was about like 3.5, 4 years ago now. So I've been playing since then. I never really expected to, be good at the game or like be professional or even competitive. I kind of played casually for like a couple years, and I've basically been playing professionally for about 2 years now. And yeah, that's my story in a nutshell, I guess.
Gotcha. And for the game itself, for people who are unfamiliar with it, is this something that you play on a computer, on a cell phone, VR? What is the medium of this game?
Yeah, it's actually a mobile game, believe it or not, but it's definitely one of the best mobile games out there, in my opinion. Like sometimes mobile games are kind of copies or not as good of like something that you can play on PC. For example, like PUBG Mobile or something. Like it starts out on PC, and obviously a PC like PUBG Mobile or PC PUBG player would probably beat a PUBG mobile player just because of that. But Clash Royale, for example, is actually more advantageous for you to play on a mobile device than on a PC because it's kind of made for specifically that. And definitely one of the best mobile games out there, in my opinion.
That's very interesting. And if I heard right, it is a free-to-play game, right? Anybody can jump in there and actually download and get into it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's free to play, and I think there's about 40 to 50 million concurrent players, so it's pretty popular as well.
When I hear about mobile games in general, obviously the player base is huge because we have so many more people that can play those games. Being free to
Absolutely.
play, even more so, we've got more people in there. So the competition is huge. I mean, it's utterly huge. So for you to be on top, obviously being representing America and even coming home with the gold at WCG, how does that make you feel? I mean, how much how much effort do you put into the game yourself, or do you feel like it comes natural to you? I mean, how did this happen?
Yeah, for this game, obviously, like a lot of it comes down to just working really hard and just training, stuff like that. But since it is a strategy and just like a really critical thinking kind of game, very similar to chess in that way, I think you do have to be born with some natural ability. I don't think everyone is going to be able to pick up this game and do well at it because it's like I would say it's about 10% like actual muscle memory and being able to just train your butt off and like just use your fingers kind of thing. And then 90% of it is just completely cognitive, being able to basically think harder and make better plays and try and predict your opponent and stuff like that.
Very interesting. I can only imagine that the competition at WCG was pretty intense. Maybe you got nervous. I know when I was looking at the different competitors there, people were from all over the world, from different age groups. How did you feel getting to go to WCG, and what was the nerves like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So this was like one of my like first like events. I'm only 17, so obviously you have to be like 16 for most events. So coming here is I was definitely nervous at first, But the first day I came out and I did really well in the group stage, and from there I think my nerves kind of started to die down. In this game, especially, it's definitely important to really keep your nerves in check, and instead of being anxious, it's good to be like more excited and try and convert that anxiousness to excitement to get pumped up and ready to play. And I would say I would give a shout out to trainer Lewis. He's the coach for the Immortals Clash Royale team. He was definitely able to coach me and kind of help me keep my nerves in check. And I don't think I would have won it without him for sure.
Clearly, there was a lot of people that wanted to, be in the position that you are in right now. I would say, what is it like with the other players of the game? Is it something where you actually learn a lot from the other people? Is it something where when you're playing another opponent that it helps to know them beforehand? How much of that pre-process do you have before a game?
Yeah, so there's definitely two things that come into factor, like playing this game, because like I talked about earlier in the interview, you can make a deck out of 8 cards, and that like a lot of it comes down to like because certain cards do better against other cards. So before even you're on the stage, before you even get there, there's already such a big mind game happening based on like what deck you're going to pick and to play like when you're playing against your opponent. So it's definitely very advantageous to know your opponent, know what kind of decks he likes, or know what kind of cards he likes. And then it's also very beneficial. This is a second shout out to trainer Dippets, George. I flew him in to the tournaments to be my analyst, and he was able to help me make really good deck choices. And that was definitely very influential in my victory as well.
Gotcha. Well, definitely, I'm sure they appreciate the shout outs. As you said, you're 17 years old yourself, but this isn't the first tournament that you went to. So, how many tournaments have you gone to? I guess has it been quite a few, and have those helped you prepare for WCG or these larger tournaments?
Yeah, so basically the story of my Clash Royale career is like, at 14, I was playing casually. 15, I started getting to more competitive scene, playing professionally and like basically online stuff. Not very big stuff, obviously. I was able to like watch some of my teammates go to some live events. I was kind of like, dang, I wish I was 16. And then basically I turned 16, or like I was 16 birthday was coming up. The Clash Royale League got announced. It's like the biggest Clash Royale tournament, like $1 million prize pool. And I got picked up and signed by Team Liquid to go play in that. And while I was there, it's like my first tournament. I was living there without my parents in LA in a team house, and I just slumped really. And I just started playing like I just did not play very good while I was out there basically. And when I got back home, I was like, I'm never gonna let myself do that ever again. And I just started training so hard, and I just did not stop. And I made like blew through the qualifiers, and I just performed really well at WCG and got my confidence up. Got me noticed by Team Misfits, signed by them first year all season two, and yeah, that's about it.
So it seems like you've got quite a big path to come from this moment forward. Obviously, it was just a nice stepping stone to furthering your path in the esports realm. I wanted to ask some questions about WCG because obviously that's kind of what we're talking about right now is the event. Because the event for me obviously was one of the larger events myself. They hadn't had it for several years. What was it like for you? The energy, as far as these other tournaments that you've been to, what did it leave you with as far as the feelings and excitement?
Honestly, yeah, just traveling to another country like that, and when I didn't expect how big the arenas would be, but I just walked in there, just these two ginormous like arenas. I was just dumbfounded because I just walked in there. I was just thinking, how much did all this cost? Because yeah, it was definitely quite an experience. I'll definitely never forget it because everything, lights everywhere, just so much technology, so many different games. It was just an absolute fantastic sight to see for sure.
Right, right. Yeah, I agree with you. I did production myself for many years, so when I walked around, I was kind of just counting all the different rigs that they had and thinking about all the different, as you said, price tags they would have. And the event itself was obviously, it was very well designed. I feel like they took care of the different attendees and they took care of the actual competitive players, and they made sure that we all felt very good and knew what was going on at all times.
For sure.
Do you have any things that I guess that you wish would have been better, or is there something about this tournament that you wish other tournaments would do that they did?
Yeah, honestly, for my tournament, like what I did, everything was absolutely fantastic. Um, Honestly, I cannot think of really many things I would see done better. The only thing I would say is I would probably have like live streaming done, because like not all of the matches were live streamed,
Hmm.
but it would probably be hard to do that because I know they had like a couple different channels set up and they like stream different games throughout the day. But if they could do like a live stream setup for each game and kind of be able to showcase the group stage as well as the finals in like a live stream during the entire day, that would probably be the one thing I would say to improve. But other than that, the refs were amazing. The phones didn't really have glitches. They had Ethernet cords set up. Like everything was fantastic. Even the format was great. Like the best of three in the group stage and then best of five at the finals. That was definitely, honestly, really solid.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean on that, and I think that is one thing as far as the tournament it goes is they didn't really have all this live streaming and the internet as advanced as it is today. Back in 2013, I believe was when the last one was going on. So I do think that they have some room for improvement. But as far as the actual tournament it goes, I do have my little WCG 2019 thing here. I see you've got some of your swag behind you, but you've got the medal. Can you show off the medal for a second? Because I want to see the medal
Yeah,
real
for
quick. And I
sure.
know the guys at home also want to see that thing. This, of course, is the gold medal that you received, coming home with that, and of course, how did it feel when you got the gold medal? When you were on stage and they were presenting the gold medal to you, what was that feeling like?
Yeah. Basically,
Everybody cheering, everybody's
probably
cheering with these, yeah, yeah.
probably the best moment of my life, honestly, because I don't know, it was just super surreal. Like even now, it's just like I look back on it, it's almost like it was a dream. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing because I was waiting for them to call me out, and they called me out. And, I went there, and I think I was actually one of the only people that kind of knelt down to take the medal. And I know in China it's like a big sign of respect.
Hmm.
So I think like the crowd was like, oh,
Yeah.
and that was crazy. Chills definitely went up my spine, stuff like that. And it was, yeah, receiving this medal is definitely best moment of my life for sure.
No, it's very cool looking, and I felt the weight of one of them from the other competitors, and yeah, it's a hefty prize to have there because not only the physical thing itself, but as you just said, the feelings that you got from the actual ceremony. I think the audience was very respectful, and I think they were very excited. I think they were genuinely excited to see the players receiving the medals. And of course,
Yeah.
I remember I was in the audience myself, and when I saw you up there, I was cheering, of course, because go USA. It was nice to see you up
USA.
there. So yeah, definitely respect for that. Congratulations, of course, for coming home with the gold. Even if I believe even if you hadn't come home with the medal, I still think it would have felt like a great opportunity. But of course, it's even better to have that. Would you like to go to WCG 2020 if you had an opportunity?
Absolutely. To that, if I could do that again, I would do it in a heartbeat. Even if I don't like qualify or if there's a Clash Royale tournament, hopefully there is, and hopefully I do
Hmm.
qualify. Even if there is not, like I might just go for the fun of it, be able to experience some of that again. Is really fantastic
That's what I'm
production
thinking too.
and
Is even
everything.
if I don't make it as a competitor, I might just try to show up as well because yeah, it was so exciting. I mean, we had Beyond the Game playing at all times, and it was I
Yeah.
think that it was amazing just being able to walk around and meet all the other people. And they had different things that we did like signing the T-shirts. And did you have your player cards too that you were trying to give out to other people? So it seemed like
Yeah,
they
I got
they
one
were
right
there.
there.
Nice, yeah, and they even
Yeah.
had these little, the little buttons that they were giving out to people. So I feel like they were really trying to bring together the community and not try to
Mhm.
alienate one group more so than the other. And that was my favorite part of it. So I definitely want other people that watch this to, at least understand that, yeah, it was a competition. We did play all these games, but I think more so at the end of the day, the best part was just the feeling of being able to meet other people that are like-minded and got to enjoy and cheer you on and be in that environment. So that was my
Absolutely.
take home from it, I guess. But no, I really do appreciate your time with me right now. I know that you've got other things to do, of course. But I also wanted to mention, as we reached out to each other, I found out we're both from Nebraska. Is that right? We're Nebraska bred.
Yeah, Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska, born and raised.
Well, shout out to Lincoln, Nebraska. It doesn't happen enough, so we want to make sure to get that out there. Go Big Red.
Absolutely.
I know that when you're from the Nebraska state, there's not always a whole lot to do there during the winter months and even during the summer sometimes. So, playing games and doing competitive sports is something that I did growing up while I was there. And of course, there's a lot of good people in the environments. And as you said, you've got, I'm sure, a good family around you supporting you and helping you with the things that you're trying to achieve in life. So, 17 years old right now, you've got a long way to go, brother. I'm excited to see where you go from here, and definitely hope that we see you next year at the next WCG. And for now, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we end this?
Yeah, the only thing I would shout out for myself would be check out my YouTube channel. I'm posting on there almost every other day, and then I stream on Twitch every day at 7 Eastern time. So check that out for sure.
Okay, and we will put those links in the description, of course, but make sure to go ahead and say, what is your YouTube name so people can find it?
Yes, my YouTube name is just JuicyJ, Clash Royale, and then Twitch is JuicyJ_CR. And yeah, JuicyJ_CR will work for every social media, including YouTube.
Absolutely. Well, Jackson, thank you very much for your time. We're going to go ahead and end it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out.